Squid Game shocked audiences with its brutal depiction of death, where characters faced lethal consequences in a deadly competition for wealth. So let's go over every single death in the show. Kang Se-byuk, aka 67, after being mortally wounded by a glass shard during the fifth game, rapidly loses blood. As Gi-hun desperately pleads for emergency assistance, Sang-woo realizes Gi-hun might give up the game to save her and stabs her in the neck. Despite her tragic demise, Se-byuk's remarkable strength and resilience earn her a third-place finish in the 33rd Squid Games, making her the highest-ranking female player in the competition. Gi-hun, on the verge of winning, turns to Sang-woo, aka 218, and offers him a hand, inviting him to abandon the game and return home. As they share a moment of nostalgia and reminisce about old times, Sang-woo hesitates, then reaches for Gi-hun's hand. In a heart-wrenching twist, Sang-woo grabs a nearby knife and stabs himself in the neck. As he bleeds out, he begs Gi-hun to use his prize money to help his mother. The declaration of Gi-hun's victory is a hollow consolation, overshadowed by the tragic loss of his childhood friend. During the red light, green light game, as the doll spun around for the first green light, player 324 shoved player 250, and they both sprinted ahead. However, during red light, player 324 stumbled and couldn't recover in time before the doll spotted his movement. As a result, he was shot by a sniper, marking him as the game's first. Believing his friend is feigning injury, player 250 approaches player 324. However, player 324 is actually mortally wounded and expires shortly thereafter. Player 250 attempts to flee the scene, but is detected by the doll. A sniper responds, striking player 250, splattering blood on player 306. The resulting chaos causes player 306 to panic and shriek, leading to her elimination as well. Oh Young-uk, who is 118, survives the initial chaos following the eliminations of players 324 and 250, advancing slightly before being shot in the left leg. Despite his injury, Young-uk manages to crawl to Seong Gi-hun, grasping his leg and pleading for assistance. Gi-hun breaks free and flees, abandoning Young-uk. Young-uk is subsequently detected by Young-hee and shot again, this time fatally, in the chest. Se-byuk and Ji-young with number 24 face off in a high-stakes marble game. Se-byuk makes her move, throwing her marble with precision. It lands reasonably close to the wall. Instead of competing, Ji-young deliberately drops her marble, ensuring Se-byuk's win. Ji-young realizes she has nothing left to live for outside the game, while Se-byuk still has a reason to keep fighting. As Se-byuk is led away, Ji-young calls out to her one last time. With emotions overflowing, Ji-young thanks Se-byuk for playing the game with her. Se-byuk, overcome with anguish, can't bear to look at her friend in her final moments. She listens, devastated, as Ji-young is shot. Player 199, unsuspecting and trusting, agrees to let Sang-woo help him with his marbles. Sang-woo offers to create a cloth necklace to carry the marbles, using fabric from his own shirt. As they prepare to reconvene, Sang-woo suggests they split up to observe the other players. Sang-woo uses the opportunity to swap Ali's marbles with a bag of pebbles. With the clock ticking down, Sang-woo reveals his treachery. He submits the stolen marbles, securing his own survival while condemning Ali to a tragic fate. Ali's life is brutally cut short, and his body is coldly disposed of in a box, destined for incineration. Deok-soo, with number 101, attempts to manipulate others in the fifth game, glass stepping stones, refusing to progress unless others take the risk. Min-yo, fueled by a desire for revenge, grabs Deok-soo around the waist and pulls them both off the bridge in a shocking act of murder-suicide. As they plummet to their deaths, Deok-soo's desperate pleas for mercy are met with Min-yo's mocking laughter, a chilling testament to the brutal consequences of his actions. Byung-gi, player 111, continues to perform surgeries for the corrupt guards. However, the relentless pressure of the games and lack of sleep take a devastating toll on his mental state. After the guards reveal they are unaware of the next game, Byung-gi violently lashes out and murders one of them before fleeing. He ends up in the Sugar Honeycomb's game hall. There, Byung-gi and the pursuing guards are discovered by the frontman and his men. As a result, Byung-gi is shot to death. Player 69 attempts to rally the remaining players, pleading with them to abandon the game, but he fails. The trauma of his wife's tragic death proves too overwhelming, and player 069's grief consumes him. He takes his own life by hanging, succumbing to the unbearable pain and despair. During the marble game, player 278 faces player 101. Player 278 confidently guesses 101's marbles correctly, irritating 101, who demands a change in the game for fairness. The employee agrees, and they switch to a marble tossing challenge. In the final rounds, player 278's marble accidentally knocks 101's marble into the hole. Panicking, player 278 tries to flee but runs into a dead end, shouting at the guards before being eliminated. In the tug-of-war game, player 19 and his team struggle, nearly falling to their deaths due to tactics from O Il Nam on the opposing team. However, player 194 manages to regroup them, regaining the upper hand and nearly forcing Team 4 off their platform. In a last-ditch effort, Cho Sang-woo devises a strategy, prompting his team to take 3 steps forward, causing player 19's team to lose their balance. Unable to recover, Team 5 falls apart, and player 19 is pulled off the platform, followed by the rest of his team, all meeting their deaths. In the Glass Stepping Stones game, Do Jung-soo 17 uses his experience as a glass manufacturer to differentiate between tempered and regular glass based on light refraction. However, fearing that revealing his knowledge too early would make him a target, he keeps it to himself, waiting till all the players ahead of him are dead to inform the players behind him. When his turn comes, he carefully follows his strategy, attempting to gauge the glass panels by the sound of a marble. As time runs out, player 218 grows impatient and, frustrated by his hesitation, pushes him to his death, securing 4th place in the competition. During the Sugar Honeycombs game, Sang-hoon 119 attempts to cut out an umbrella shape from his honeycomb piece, but accidentally breaks the handle, resulting in his elimination. As a guard approaches to execute him, Sang-hoon retaliates by poking a needle into the guard's eye. He then takes a manager hostage, holding him at gunpoint and demanding that the guard remove his mask. After the guard complies, Sang-hoon shoots himself in the temple, apparently driven by distress over the guard's youthful appearance and involvement in the atrocities. The young manager is subsequently shot by the frontman, serving as a reminder that revealing one's identity will result in fatal consequences. Park Ju-eun 369. During the Sugar Honeycombs game, Park Ju-eun selects an umbrella shape and attempts to cut it out of a honeycomb piece. However, he breaks the dalgona, resulting in his elimination. Ju-eun begs for mercy, requesting one last chance, but is immediately shot in the head by a guard. He falls backwards from the top of the slide, leaving a trail of blood behind him. His death triggers a series of subsequent eliminations that occur shortly thereafter. Player 209 attempts to cut out a circle from the honeycomb toffee. Her distress causes her to accidentally break the top part of her candy, resulting in her elimination. Player 061's life is terminated with a single shot. Player 271 approaches Jang Deok-soo, demanding a share of his food. In the ensuing altercation, a bottle is accidentally broken. The confrontation escalates, and player 101 physically assaults player 271, ultimately beating him to death. The speaker subsequently announces player 101's elimination. During the tug-of-war game, player 245 led Team 7 consisting of player 245, 120, 37, 408, 27, 273, 243, 58, 327, and 241 against Team 1, led by Jang Deok-soo. Team 7 is quickly overpowered by Team 1, comprising physically strong individuals. As a result, player 245 and his teammates are pulled off the platform and fall to their deaths. Player 21 seeks help from player 453, but she misremembers the safe tiles. Receiving conflicting advice from players 151 and 244, player 21 chooses to go left and falls to his death. When player 244's turn arrives, he begins praying. Player 151, intimidated by threats from players 407 and 101, attempts to push player 244 off the bridge but fails. Instead, player 244 pushes player 151 onto a regular glass tile, resulting in his death. Player 407 then pushes 244 onto the wrong glass tile, resulting in his death. Players 133, 455, 152, 370, 217, 239, 20, 400, 248, and 157 are shot during the game. Red light, green light. Players 96, 308, 62, 21, 453, and 360 fall to their death after jumping onto regular glass panels. Season 2. During the red light, green light game, player Mina mocks Gi-hun's warnings, believing the game to be harmless. While playing, Mina teams up with another player, referred to as Thanos. When a bee lands on her neck, she panics and screams after being warned by Thanos. After calming down, Mina admits to moving, resulting in her immediate execution by a fatal shot to the back of the head. Her body is discovered by Lee Eun-ju, triggering a mass panic among the players. Following the completion of the red light, green light game, Namdoo expresses gratitude to Gi-hun and Hyunju for saving him. However, the celebration is short-lived, as No Eol suddenly shoots Namdoo in the head, resulting in his instantaneous death. Gi-hun and Jung-bae with number 390, out of ammunition, surrender to the soldiers. The frontman arrives, accompanied by the officer, and taunts Gi-hun about his heroic actions. He redirects his attention to Jung-bae, instructing Gi-hun to witness the consequences of his rebellion. Then the frontman executes Jung-bae with a shot to the chest. Gi-hun's anguish is overwhelming, and he struggles against the restraining soldiers, his eyes fixed on his adversary in a mixture of grief and fury. During the fourth round, player Young-mi is pushed to the ground by player 51 while rushing to a room with her teammates. Despite Hyunju's attempt to save her, Lee Myung-gi pushes Hyunju inside and closes the door, leaving Young-mi outside as time runs out. Young-mi is shot in the back and killed while trying to look at her friends through a hole in the door. During the mingle game, player Gyeong-soo is kicked to the ground by player Thanos, who is likely under the influence of drugs. As a result, Gyeong-soo is left behind and fails to find 3 other players to form a group before time expires. While attempting to back away from a soldier, Gyeong-soo is fatally shot. Thanos later appears to show concern for Gyeong-soo's well-being. During the mingle game, player 343, Sim Jae-seok, reaches the final round and attempts to secure a spot at a door with player 285. However, they are confronted by Hwang In-ho and Park Jung-bae, who also seek to claim the door. After Hwang In-ho throws out player 285, Jae-seok refuses to leave, insisting he arrived first. In response, Hwang In-ho fatally strangles Jae-seok and cracks his neck to eliminate him and secure his own spot. Hannam 15, who previously survived the second game and participated in the voting rounds, joins Min-soo's group in the last round. He changes his vote to X for the third time and participates in the revolt. While attempting to reach the control room in the management area, Han-nam is fatally shot by Hwang In-ho, who betrays their team. In-ho further deceives the others by mimicking Han-nam's choking sounds, falsely suggesting Han-nam's death was due to asphyxiation, rather than the gunshot wound. Player 324 participates in the revolt but becomes desperate as the situation deteriorates and ammunition runs low. With the guards closing in, player 324 finds himself with only 1 bullet left. Fearing capture or death at the hands of the guards, he makes the drastic decision to take his own life. Despite pleas from player 246 to reconsider, player 324 shoots himself with his last bullet, ending his life. The rebellion ultimately fails, and player 145 is forced to surrender. He is subsequently shot and killed by a guard. Player Gyeong-seok participates in the X-rebellion against the soldiers, but becomes heavily outnumbered and runs out of ammunition. Gyeong-seok begs the soldiers to spare his life, citing his sick daughter. Gyeong-seok is subsequently shot by a soldier, although the location of the wound is not clearly shown. Sammy 380 seals her fate when she fails to join Gi-hun's inner circle, leaving her vulnerable. As the lights go out, the players turn against each other in a desperate bid for survival. Namgyu, armed with the same fork used by Myung-gi, targets Sammy. Min-soo attempts to save Sammy, hurling a glass bottle at Namgyu from above, but unfortunately misses. Sammy uses the shattered glass to fight back against her attacker. Despite her valiant efforts, Sammy is killed by Namgyu's brutal assault. Players 455, 371, 115, 406, 292, 338, 262, 250, 20, 217, 66, 188, 244, 355, 293, 237, 229, 165, 384 are shot by guards after moving during the game. Red light, green light. Players 216, 270, and 257 are shot by guards during the game. Red light, green light after being pushed by Thanos. Players 286, 45, 254, 395, 341, 16, 198, 189, 416, 178, 382, 273, 429, 14, 148, 4, 167, 437, 412, 206, 178, 212, 330, 32, 046, 135, 239, 26, 415, and 453 are shot by the guards after running out of time in the six-legged pentathlon. Players 43, 316, 313, 50, 239, 034, 38, 104, 109, 291, 309, 335, 345, 347, 365, and 368 are shore and killed after failing to find a room in the game mingle. Players 185, 182, 102, and 406 are stabbed to death with a fork during attack night. Episode 1. Okay, so the first episode throws us right back into the chaos with a throwback to the rebellion, but with a twist that had me gasping. Player 145 gets gunned down, and that's our first official death of the season. But here's where it gets wild. Player 246 is officially scanned as dead in the system, except he's actually alive thanks to No Yule saving him. It's not technically a real death, but the system says otherwise. So I'm counting it as an honorable mention because the deception is just insane. The real gut punch comes when we learn the true scale of the rebellion. An officer confirms that 27 soldiers and 8 managers died defending the organization. Like, that's 35 lives lost just to keep this twisted system running, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Meanwhile, on the boat with Junho, Captain Park is being all shady about what happened during that storm. He obviously killed the drone operator, but plays innocent, blaming the guy for being drunk and falling overboard. Then we see the poor man's dead body washed up on shore. Technically, he didn't die this season, but I don't want anyone coming for me in the comments. The real brutality is happening underground, though. No Yule straight up executes 4 guards in the workroom to protect player 246. These aren't random kills, they're calculated, cold-blooded moves that show just how far she'll go for someone she cares about. The loyalty is real, but so is the violence. And just like that, episode 1 is already over and I'm already stressed. Episode 2. Episode 2 opens, and I'm immediately on edge again. We're back with No Yule, who made the doctor save player 246. But here's the thing, she never said anything about keeping the doctor alive afterward. So No Yule shoots the doctor dead, adding another body to her growing count. Girl is not playing around, but the real nightmare begins when that deadly hide-and-seek game starts. And honestly, I was not prepared for what came next. The first official game elimination has me shaking when we hear player 310 eliminated, player 260 pass. Player 007 is walking around all stressed while screams echo everywhere. Like, the atmosphere is absolutely terrifying. Now, the deadly duo of Myung-gi, player 333, and Nam-gyu, player 124, becomes absolutely lethal. They hunt down player 235 in this terrifying chase through the maze that had me holding my breath. After cornering this poor guy, they literally coordinate stabbing him at the same time so they both can pass. The calculated cruelty is just chilling. As they're leaving, Minsu is cowering nearby, and we hear player 105 eliminated, player 096 passed in the background. These death announcements just become this constant haunting soundtrack. Player 226 goes after pregnant, player 222, but thank God player 120 steps in. After this intense fight, she uses a judo throw and kills player 226 with his own knife. Even the skilled fighters aren't safe, and that's terrifying. One of the most disgusting moments comes when player 100 literally throws player 232 toward a red-vested killer and locks the door. Player 232 gets stabbed while player 100 just blocks the door. Too much of a coward to help his supposed friend? Like, the betrayal is unreal. The deadly duo strikes again, cornering player 411 and stabbing him together. Nam-gyu gets fascinated watching the life leave his body, which is such a disturbing detail that shows how these games are psychologically destroying people. Player 400 this young woman, gets found stabbed to death with no identified killer. Meanwhile, Gi-hun discovers player 197 dead and bloodied, another death that never gets officially announced. The mystery makes it even more terrifying. Player 394 has this brief, terrifying moment with Gi-hun, then immediately gets stabbed by player 336 the second she walks away. Death is literally coming from every direction. Dae-ho is fighting for his life when player 359 chases him up this staircase. After getting his leg slashed, Dae-ho throws his attacker down the stairs. Whether player 359 died from the fall doesn't even matter. Losing his knife seals his fate anyway. In this kid's room, player 007 finds this bloodied player hiding, someone from the Mingle game. Player 172 begs for his life but then attacks, and they're fighting desperately for the knife. Just as player 172 is about to kill player 007, player 203 stabs player 172 in the neck. The timing was everything. The shaman's betrayal absolutely broke my heart. She guides her followers into a trap where players 006 and 447 get cut down by Myung-gi and Nam-gyu, while she just runs away. She abandoned the people who trusted her. We see player 440 eliminated by player 192, while player 009 is found dead with her killer still a mystery. Death is literally lurking everywhere in this nightmare maze. One of the most heartbreaking deaths comes when player 120, after killing player 202 in a knife fight to protect player 222 and her newborn baby, gets stabbed in the back by player 333, Myung-gi. He immediately realizes his terrible mistake. She was protecting his own child. I was crying. We hear player 350 eliminated, player 353 pass during all the chaos. Minsu's complete mental breakdown leads to this shocking moment when he hallucinates that player 44, the shaman, is Sammy. In his delusion, he stabs and kills her, thinking he's protecting Sammy from Nam-gyu. The shaman kind of brought this on herself for being so cruel to Minsu, but still, the episode's climax delivers the death we've all been waiting for. The hunt between Gi-hun and Dae-ho finally ends when Gi-hun finds him at a dead end. After this brutal fight, Gi-hun strangles player 388, Dae-ho, to death, while the frontman watches. You can see Gi-hun slowly giving into his demons, and it's terrifying, but the most absolutely heartbreaking moment comes in the final seconds. Player 007, Young-sik, faces this impossible choice: kill someone or die himself. He wants to kill player 222, but his mother offers herself up because she's old and that baby needs protection. After these emotional moments, he goes in for the kill, but then it happens. His mother, player 149, makes the ultimate sacrifice, stabbing him with her hairpin to save his soul from becoming a killer. Then, the guards shoot him. I was absolutely sobbing. At this point, I'm actually traumatized and need a break. Thankfully, episode 3 is a little calmer, or so I thought. Episode 3. The cleanup after that massacre brings more death when a red-vested player attacks a guard and gets killed for his rebellion. The bodies of player 007, Dae-ho, and player 44 get removed while these American VIP fake guards clean the arena. The most devastating death comes from pure despair. Player 149, the mother who killed her own son to save him from becoming a murderer, can't bear the weight of her actions. She hangs herself in the dormitory, and her body gets delivered to the main hall in a coffin. And here I was thinking this episode would be calmer. Even outside the games, the violence continues when Mr. Choi breaks into Captain Park's house. He wasn't alone though, and ends up having to shoot a guard dog that attacks him. R.I.P. Doggo. Even the pets aren't safe. And they couldn't even wait one episode because at the end of episode 3, Game 4 is already in full swing. The deadly jump rope game on the bridge becomes this bloodbath. Player 124, Nam-gyu, becomes the first victim when Minsu manipulates him by throwing his drug cross onto the track. When Nam-gyu realizes it's empty, he freezes and gets swept away by the rope. Player 312 makes it across but gets pushed off by player 096, who declares that no one else will pass. And with that absolutely crazy moment, the episode ends. But episode 4 continues right where we left off. Episode 4. Player 096 kicks player 276 to his death, fully transforming into this bridge predator, and I'm terrified. Under all this pressure, player 209 slips and falls, followed by player 136. A drone shot reveals 5 bodies below, meaning another unnamed player also fell off screen. Players 192 and 442 died together, when player 192 slips and grabs the player in front of him, and the rope sweeps them both off. Player 377 slips trying to turn around, and when player 349 makes it back to the start, player 203 ruthlessly kicks her off, coldly asking everyone what they're staring. The audacity. The fight between Gi-hun and player 096 causes chaos that eliminates players 435, 448, and 260 before Gi-hun finally overpowers 096 by pressing a finger into his eye and throwing player 096 back onto the track where the rope launches him into the pit. Player 306 falls into a gap and hangs desperately, but player 333 simply steps over him, causing him to fall to his death. Myunggi's cold calculation is chilling. The most devastating moment comes when player 222 recognizes her injured ankle makes crossing impossible. She steps to the edge, sheds a tear, and jumps to her death to ensure Gi-hun can save her baby. This one goes straight to the trauma list. I was absolutely destroyed. Violence spills beyond the arena when Captain Park massacres the search crew on the boat. Jun-ho shoots Park with a harpoon gun, ending his rampage. On this boat, 4 crew members got eliminated, and Captain Park makes it 5 deaths total in this incident. And then we continue to the final game of the season. Episode 5. A flashback reveals this brutal precedent when younger In-ho killed 6 remaining contestants in their sleep after winning his own game. Following Oh Il-nam's advice, he offers the same choice to Gi-hun, but thankfully Gi-hun refuses and remains human. No Yul shoots the corrupt officer during their elevator fight when he forgot his gun, and she retrieves it just as he tries to stab her. Girls got perfect timing. Player 125, Min-soo, becomes the first pillar victim when the group democratically decides he's the biggest liability. As he hallucinates Sammy reaching for him, Myunggi pushes him off with a pole. Honorable mention that Thanos made an appearance this season even though he's very much dead. Just a hallucination, but still gave me chills. During a boat chase, player 246 takes down 1 guard but runs out of ammunition. The second pillar erupts into chaos when player 336 charges at Gi-hun, but Gi-hun cuts his safety rope, and player 333 pushes player 336 off the pillar, shocking everyone by siding with Gi-hun. A massive brawl breaks out where Gi-hun stabs player 203 while player 333 kicks player 353 off the edge after he hangs precariously from the pole. Both players 203 and 353 are eliminated in the violence. Player 333 throws player 100 off the pillar when he suggests eliminating the lunchbox. Player 039 next. Player 039, his leg broken by the other contestants, refuses to be their next victim. He crawls to the edge and throws himself off, choosing death on his own terms. This leaves Gi-hun and Myunggi in a very bad situation. So let's see what happens next. Episode 6. The final episode starts with the aftermath of the boat fight. 2 more guards are dead, shot by Jun-ho and the general. But the real drama is happening at the games. In the final confrontation between Gi-hun and Myunggi on the last pillar, both end up dangling over the edge. When the jacket rips, player 333, Myunggi, falls to his death, leaving Gi-hun and the baby. But the finale's most shocking moment comes when Gi-hun, after ensuring the baby is safe, faces the VIPs watching from above. He declares, "We are not horses, we are humans," and lets himself fall backward off the pillar. Player 456, Gi-hun, eliminates himself, leaving the infant as the sole winner. From there, a lot more unfolds, but no more deaths were found. Season 3 ended with an absolutely devastating body count of 99 confirmed deaths, and 105 if you count In-ho's flashback. From the opening deception about player 246's death to Gi-hun's final sacrifice, this season was absolutely relentless. We witnessed calculated murders, desperate betrayals, drug-fueled hallucinations, and a level of brutality that surpassed everything before. The fact that a baby, pure and innocent, ends up as the sole survivor is the most powerful statement about humanity the series could make. Which death hit you the hardest? Let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more Squid Game content. I honestly need some time to recover from all this trauma, but I'll see you in the next video.